Okay, our next step is to put this all together, essentially. We're going to work on putting our complex search string together. This is what you will enter into your protocol. So you only need to put one search string into there, and then later on you will translate the search string. But right now we're just focusing on the one. Because we found all of these terms with mesh terms, then the easiest place to really put all of this into is PubMed. So that's usually what we recommend using for your first search string. So I'm going to show you how we do that with a couple of our concepts. Of course, we're going to be using Boolean operators. So brush up on that, remember that. And then again, as this is the reason why we put all of this in a nice format already, with our quotation marks around each word and with our truncation already listed. It's because it makes it so much easier when we're copying and pasting. So let's start with our first concept. I do have PubMed open right here. What we're going to need to do is we're going to go to Advanced. All right, so here's where we're going to start typing or copying and pasting in all of our different terms. One of the most important things you need to remember, and believe me, I have forgotten sometimes, so it is hard to remember, but it is very important, is change this from all fields to title abstract. So that way, when we're searching for our terms, we are searching to make sure that they are important enough, obviously, to be in the title and abstract and not just found anywhere within the entire documents. So that's how we'll start. All right, so we're going to do physician assistants first. Grab this whole bit, copy and paste it in, we add it. So it adds it right down here to our query box. We'll go down the line and add nurse practitioner yet. And here is where we need to change right away. So we want to add this with or. And the reason for that is this is our first concept. So everything basically horizontally across here on this concept map, we want to add as or. So all of these are going to be put together as or, including the mesh terms. We'll do all of those, and then we'll do education. And education will also have all the different ors between these. We'll do all of those. And lastly, of course, you'll do your last concept with ors between everything. Then once all those are done, you'll finally add in your ands, and it will basically be everything in the advanced practice providers concept and everything in the advanced education concept and everything in the social determinants of health concept. All right, so let's actually put that together so it makes more sense. So right now we can just start doing a nice good old copy and paste, and because we've used or already, it's just going to automatically stay there. So is that title abstract, which is awesome. So we don't have to worry about doing that for each one. Now, if I just didn't have this issue of copying and pasting. We've added all of those concepts from our keywords, but we're not done, remember, because we still got to add our mesh terms. So this, as you'll see in a second, you don't have to change anything here because that's kind of why we grab it the way we grab it from the mesh headings section, is that it automatically already put it in the format that we need in with the brackets right here around mesh. So we just got to make sure we add it with the or, and it got added down there. And to nurse practitioners. All right, so now if we kind of stretch this out, you can see that is our whole entire first concept. And again, the reason why we put a lot of this in here instead of trying to build it ourselves sometimes is because you'll find that there's a lot of extra quote parentheses and different things like that you wouldn't just automatically know to add. And so once we put them in here, PubMed does that for us. So we've got our first concept. Let's hit search. And that's quite a lot of results, but don't worry because this is how things get narrowed down. This is just one of our concepts and it's all with or. So we're looking for anything with physician assistant or nurse practitioner or advanced practice provider. So it's a lot of possibilities there. So we're going to go back to our advanced. And what's fantastic is now you can see our prior search results. So it stays down here in our search history. So we're going to move on to our next concept, education. Again, we've got to remember to move this to title and abstract. Put that in and add it. Curriculum. Need to remember to add with an or. There we go. Okay, all of our keywords are added in, but then we got to go to our mesh terms yet again. We got 4 of them this time. There we go. And then if we stretch this out, we can see our whole second concept. We'll hit search. And that gives us a lot. And see, there are some times where, these error will come out. And so what happens is we'll go back to our advanced, gives us a little red arrow showing that there are errors. And if we scroll down, it shows us exactly where those errors are. So this is actually good practice to show you this because it does happen sometimes when you've maybe found a keyword that it's like, we don't recognize this at all. So, all right, we're going to go up and I'm going to add, this is how this 3 dots, you add this back into the query up there. So that's where I can start doing any changes. So it looks like we need to get rid of about 5 parentheses. So I'm going to just copy that many. I'm sure we only have that many. What else do we need to do? We need to remove the whole didactic title abstract with the 2 quotation marks. And the or. Think 1 more parenthesis. See what that happens. What happens there? Following terms were ignored. There's just a couple parentheses again. It's being finicky. All right, let's look at the end of our mesh terms. Okay, so again, we'll add this back to query. End of that one's fine. Got an extra one here, an extra one at curriculum, and an extra one at the end of education. We'll hit search one more time. All right, no errors, yay. All right, tons of results, a crazy amount, but we have some very basic phrases in there. So finally, we'll go back to our advanced. What I'm going to do actually is just get rid of these ones that had the errors because we don't need these in here confusing us. All right. Now we have our 2 concepts. I am not going to do the 3rd concept. That will be for you guys to try. And what we're going to do is add these together. So if I add this first concept to my query right here, so we've got all those added with the or, the last thing we'll do is then put in an add with an and. So this is where the and comes in, because like we said, we want all of these concepts and all of these concepts. And if we had the 3rd one, all of these concepts as well. But for now, we're just going to do the 2 together. We'll hit search. All right, that's still quite a lot of concepts, but again, it's all right because in reality, we're going to have our 3rd concept in there to really narrow this stuff down. So that is how you would create the search string. So if we go back actually to advanced, same here in our details, you'll be able to see that really nice long search string with including all of our keywords and all of our mesh terms.